In the final day of the trial, the Senate has voted to acquit President Trump on both articles of impeachment against him in just the third impeachment trial of a president in our nation's history. Good evening and thank you for joining us for ABC Columbia News at 5. I'm Rochelle Dean.
And I'm Josh Berry. That Senate impeachment trial has adjourned. We'll take you to Washington for a full report coming up later in the show. But first, we want to get a check of the weather because preparations are already being made ahead of severe storms tomorrow. We've learned that Richland 1 and Lexington Richland 5 have both canceled after school activities tomorrow.
That's right, as they prepare for those severe storms. Let's turn things over to Chief Meteorologist John Farley, standing by in the Weather Center, keeping an eye on the sky for us tonight. John, can we expect to see some changes soon?
Yeah, we'll get some rain out there tonight, but I do think it's prudent to be aware of your surroundings tomorrow, late afternoon into the evening, because a very healthy line of thunderstorms is going to go through here. That line is very likely going to produce severe storms enough to cause wind damage, and probably we'll see a couple of tornadoes out of this thing as it goes through as well. So again, tomorrow afternoon and evening, definitely be prudent. Know where you're going to be, and I would not be, just out driving around for any, just lollygagging around. It could get pretty intense here tomorrow evening. Okay, so right now, as you see, the temperature is pretty warm, a little bit of wind, and right now a little bit of rain, not much. What we see out here on the other side of Augusta, that's going to work in here, 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight, something like that. But the real action is well out here. You can see this just north of Jackson in New Orleans. These are tornadoes in red. So would not be surprised, again, tomorrow afternoon into the evening, that line is going to be here, and oftentimes what these lines do is they weaken. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. It looks like this thing is actually going to be blossoming right over the top of us. So here we go. That's this evening. Here's a look at things for you tomorrow, and once again, look at this. By tomorrow, late afternoon, evening, we're going to see a good line of thunderstorms in here. What does that mean? Well, the rain starts tonight, severe storms tomorrow evening. And not only are we going to see a good bit of severe weather with this, but we're going to see a whole lot of rain by the time everything winds down tomorrow night. Check out the numbers here. Many of us, upwards of 3 inches of rain by the time this is all over. So this also will be enough to cause some at least localized flooding. So this is a little bumpy for us starting tomorrow, late afternoon. We'll talk more about that and when this thing finally winds down coming up in just a bit.
The race for the White House has stirred controversy in the State House as a group of black lawmakers have taken issue with a tweet by State Senator Dick Harpootlian that suggests corruption and pocketing of campaign funds. ABC Columbia's Tim Scott joins us live with a look at that tweet in question. And Tim, these lawmakers want something done about it.
Well, Josh,
Though we still don't have the full results from Monday's Iowa caucus, candidates have moved on to New Hampshire to garner last-minute support in the February 11th primary. With just over 70% of precincts reporting in Iowa, 2 candidates are claiming victory. ABC's Trevor Ault has the latest.
The numbers aren't final yet, but right now a pair of Democratic presidential candidates say they were victorious in the Iowa caucuses.
This is an astonishing victory for our organization, our values, our campaign, and our candidacy.
I'm very proud to tell you that last night in Iowa, we received more votes on the first and second round than any other candidate.
Both Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Senator Bernie Sanders hoping to capitalize on momentum from Iowa, each holding several events in New Hampshire as they look ahead to next week's primary. Senator Elizabeth Warren, who currently sits in third in Iowa, venting over the continued delay in results.
They ought to get it together and release all of the data. That's what we need.
While former Vice President Joe Biden, in fourth in the preliminary results, is hoping Iowa officials take their time as he leans on New Hampshire voters to right the ship.
You guys are going to set the tone for the whole rest of the race. It's time for New Hampshire to speak.
Despite millions of dollars spent on thousands of events, the crowded Democratic field that was expected to thin after Iowa still just as crowded in New Hampshire.
We always say that Iowa indicates what's ahead in this race. Maybe it is, and maybe what's ahead in this race is we're not going to know the answer to who the Democratic nominee for a lengthy period of process.
The Iowa Democratic Party has blamed a coding error in an app they used to take in the caucus results for the delay. Upcoming states have already assured voters they will not be using the same app. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Following reports of hacks and police usage, one security camera company updates its privacy policy. That's coming up.
Plus, evacuations of American citizens from central China continues as the coronavirus continues to spread.